Okay, so I'm here at the Supreme Muscadine grape, and what I want to do is I want to take some cuttings today. I do have several varieties on this row. It's not a whole row of one variety. So and across the top bar, there's several vines intertwined with each other. So I'm going to try and stick to the lower limbs because I know that this is definitely the Supreme variety. Now, they say take the young shoots are the best to root. Down here below, I don't really want stuff growing down here anyway, so I'm going to take these few shoots down here and see how much I can do with them. But ideally, if you were doing it yourself, you'd want to take these cuttings right here, the very new stuff. But I do have a little bit of old and new, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these as close to the thing as I can. Now these vines need cleaned up. I'm going to clean them up over when they go dormant this this winter. So taking that off, and then there's like a tendril here, and these things really they can be a chore to keep pruned. In addition, this will help with this year's fruit. Adding sun to the inner parts of the plant. It's going to be a challenge to get it out. There we go. Some new stuff, and I'm just going to put this because I plan on doing cuttings of several things today. I'm just going to sort of put it in a bucket of water. I don't want to go in there. It says no. Kind of keep it damp, out of the sun. And yeah, I'm gonna see if there's another good cutting down here. And this, yeah, this is a blackberry bush growing through there. I'm not seeing, this is a definite, but yeah, I don't have the energy to chase that one. Yeah, so you can see that the vines are just all intertwined, and I can't tell who's who. So, yeah, that's part of over the summer. I'll let these be off too far down, like down here, when I should have had one stem go up to the top and then be off. I'm going to work on rectifying this year. So I was going to show you some of the grapes because they look amazing. Every year they look a little bit better. Right here. And really all I've been doing is pruning them in the winter time. I have triumphed, and this right here, I believe I would like to, actually I should just take some of these because this has got to be the Supreme because it's the only red vine that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and take a piece right here. And this one has a red on it, so I might take the end shoot of that one also. But I have Triumph and Grandma Val planted in here, which are all the Scoopernog type, which are the bronze style. So there's some good cuttings here. And so yeah, it's going to be a good year for the grapevines, I believe. For the grapes. Not just the vines, the grapes too. So I'm excited for that. And I'm gonna turn the camera off for a second, and oh, I was gonna show you these down here because wow, looking beautiful down here. There's some more red ones intertwined, so I think that one vine comes all the way down here. Anyhow, that's it on the muscadine grapes. I'm going to go take a few cuttings elsewhere. See you in a sec. Okay, so what we got here is the fuyu persimmon, and I've got it in this wild area. I just gotta make sure there's no snakes. We do have rattlesnakes on this property, so I gotta be careful. Now, I did want to talk about an interesting observation. Now, this little tree right here looks exactly, the leaves look exactly like that. And they say that there's no seeds in the persimmons. Look at how many persimmons I got. These will be good in November. I will probably do a separate video on these. This is the F-U-Y-U persimmon. I sort of call it the dirty words persimmon. Persimmons, if you've never had one, generally speaking, they don't stay fresh on the market shelves very long, and that's why most people have never had the opportunity of tasting one. And the American persimmon, which I have that over there, has very astringent ones that'll like make your mouths pucker and be really tart. And if you've tried those, you might think that all persimmons taste the same, but these here, once you let them get ripe, are amazing. Now, I don't know about the cuttings on these. I've never done them before, but I definitely want some more persimmon trees on this property, and available for sale. So, because I like how it grows here. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow things that do well without much manipulation. So I'm going to take a bunch of cuttings of this. And I got to keep in mind the size of my box. So I'm going to go down here. And look at how this one limb droops over. Last year, this particular limb was loaded with persimmons. What I'd like to do actually is come get a rock and put that baby on the ground and see if I couldn't get another tree. But anyhow, so, and that goes to show too, and I always try and tell people, let's not make it more difficult than what it is. Let's, you know, try things. You don't know if you try it. People are intimidated. Well, I don't have the right, look at, I'm using pliers to trim. I don't have fancy stuff or anything, you know. You don't need fancy stuff to garden. And I'm gonna get out here. And I know the limb that I'm trimming off of, I know that last year that had 13 or 14 fruit on that particular limb. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm using limbs that have fruits on them, because you want your thing to fruit as quick as possible. So yeah, I'm just gonna I think that, you know what? I think I'm going to bend down one of those branches. I think they're getting too tall. I want to be able to get my fruits with the tree to stay short. So we'll go ahead and nip the top of this off. And I always use the, you can see my yard's a mess, but the terminology where wild things grow, and that's sort of, I like to let things do their own thing. I'm not a person for a constrained garden. So, you know, I know that people who follow me may not love how crazy our yard is. So, and yeah, I think I'll come back with a bigger cutters in the fall and cut these higher branches back, because I want this tree to stay short enough for me to be able to obtain the fruits from it. Yes, I would plant a whole row of these because, and it only took me, I mean, it says on the internet like 5 years for them to grow fruit. I have to say it was only 2 or 3 years for me, so don't always believe what they tell you. And then, you know, lots of nurserymen tell people that, you know, if you grow an avocado, while I'm here, this right here is a star fruit, and it dies down to the ground. It grows back every year, and I haven't seen star fruit on it since the very first year. But I'm going to go ahead and try a couple cuttings from it to see if I can't get it to root. I'm going to go down here so I can get a couple nodes. I'm going to go down here. So that's star fruit. Yeah, I bought this persimmon off of a discount rack, and it broke off at the base. So I assume that the base is American persimmon. And with that said, that will be the astringent, yucky kind. But I'm not sure of that until it fruits. It hasn't fruited yet, so that's a sort of a wait and see. And that's all the cuttings I'm going to take of persimmons right now. Stick with me and we'll do a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take a few cuttings of beautyberry. This plant is lovely in the fall time. You see right here, the berries are coming on. A lot of people want to have this plant. These plants here, I didn't plant here. They just are that prolific in this area. They're a Florida native. So this is definitely a good one. The fruits are medicinal. And you can rub them on your arms. They're a violet. They're a violet berry, and they're beautiful in the fall. But you can rub them on your skin and you can make jelly out of them. And they say some people get sick on the jelly, so just make sure you read up and don't, you know, just because it's good for somebody drinks a gallon of it doesn't mean you can drink a gallon of it too. So, or, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, you know, some plants can be very powerful. So it's a good idea to get to know fully. Now, I don't know if these are going to root or not because they already got the berries growing on them. It doesn't seem like the right time of year for it, but I will knock all that off. I'll show that in a minute. So that's it for these cuttings. So this here is a cream guava. I have not gotten any fruits off of it yet, but it keeps dying down and coming back every year. So I'm gonna go ahead and take cuttings of it. So, you know, this is supposed to be the best time of year to take cuttings because things are actively growing. So it's already in a growth mode. Once fall rolls around, yeah, I'm really stuffing them in there. I probably have too many for my boxes, but I'm going to try anyways. Yeah, so anyhow, yeah, this is supposed to be the best time of year because they're already actively growing. There's a few other things I want to get up by the house. So maybe I'll take you on a ride with me. So anyhow, it's getting hot out. Yeah, we've had a lot of trees fall that we've got to pick up yet. So here's an area I hardly ever go to. This here is Texas sage. I'm gonna get different links of it. And I read up on this one a week or two ago about propagating it, and it said the best time to propagate it is with the flowers on. So I think that's a little strange, but that's what we'll give it a try now. If it don't work, then we'll try it a different way later. So that's that. And I'll go ahead and grab, just get pretty tall, grab a few more of these. Yes, this is an edible sage. You can put it in soups and stuff. I don't think it's very strong in flavor, but it's very beautiful and very, what do you call it? Heat resistant, obviously. And this time of year, it's got nice feathery leaves. This here is a Chaya, which I've taken cuttings off of before, and I know that they do very well using this method. My thing is almost, go ahead and take it since it, there. I have already rooted a few of these, so I'll wait till later in the season. That could get a little more bushy anyhow. Now, it's supposed to be in the spinach family where you cook it and you can eat it like spinach. Now this is a night blooming jasmine, which is not edible, I don't believe, in any kind of way, but it has very beautiful flowers in the evening and it smells really, really strong. It's a great plant. I didn't trim it since winter, bad girl me, so that's why there's dead sticks in there. I'm gonna cut it back, different kinds of cuts. And as I said, I don't know that any of these are gonna root for sure, but don't know unless you try. So that's that. And I do want to so hang on a second. Well, I'm gonna drive over to the my non-greenhouse area, and we're gonna dip these in some hormone and stick them in these planters. Hang on. All right, so I'm starting out with the persimmons because that's one of my favorite ones. I can see right now that some of my cuttings are too long, so I'm going to cut them back. I don't know if these scissors are going to work. I'm going to have to let me use these snippers. Okay, so there we've got a good cutting. I'm going to go ahead and pull off all the leaves. Some people, I usually go down to 2 leaves. Some people even cut those 2 leaves off there. And then I'm going to dip it into rooting hormone, and I'm going to stick it down in there. Now maybe I will trim those leaves just because of how they're going to stick out. It really got overzealous with the length of those cuttings. So so I'll do another one just so you guys can see. I'm just looking at this, and I like that there's a bunch of buds. See, at every node that there's a leaf, there's a possibility that a root will grow there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it this length and maybe trim the leaves again. Now, for transparency sake, I'm going to show you what I'm using. I'm using Dip and Grow, and I read there was a bunch of warnings on this as far as getting your fingers on it and that kind of thing, and don't let animals drink it. And so it's not exactly an organic field, but it has alcohol in it, so I think that is the main reason why it is so. And I think that might give it the extra sanitizing that helps out cuttings at times. There looks like some kind of egg on there. Take it off, take it off. And yeah, so I'm gonna go about and do this for a bit, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. All right, hang on. So here's what I'm doing with a beauty bush cutting. Okay, so it's just about the right size. I'm taking off all the bottom leaves. The flowers, you definitely don't, when you're doing cuttings, you definitely don't want no flowers on them. And then I just peeled that back, which may not be good news. Might have should have used scissors. And a lot of people encourage the dipping of alcohol with the scissors and the tools. But everything looked healthy to me, so I'm foregoing that. There's alcohol evidently in this dip and grow, so I'm going with that. And I'm gonna get in there with my fingernails and maybe pinch some of this out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove those leaves too. See how tall that is. Just gonna go ahead and cut it across like this and put it in. Oh, I just broke that one. You see, I just broke it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and take the top off. We're gonna go ahead and try that stick anyways. And then we're going to take this top and dunk it and stick it right next to that one. And I encourage you to do that too, is to try a few different thicknesses with, you know, hardwood, softwood, with the flowers, without the flowers. And like I say, most times with the flowers are just usually you're not going to get anywhere. This guy's starting to look sad already. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do this for a while, and I'll catch you up in a little bit. All right, now I'm doing a couple of the cream guava cuttings, and it's all the same, really. You know, just the stiffness of the stem and the difference in the plants is a little bit different. I'm just going to go ahead and take all these off. Just leave that top part and sticking it in there. Now, I didn't say anything about the sand before, but I was going to tell you, this is just regular playground sand, and I had a small box because I didn't have a tall box, and I recently have been able to empty one out and have one available for this purpose. And I have rooted a few things this way, but not all things root either. So it takes about 4 weeks for something to root. And if it's in the winter time and you're doing this, then you're going to want to put a heat mat on and get it between the 80 and 90 degree weather. We're going to have to cut that down. 80 and 90 degree temperature. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to stick it over there in the shade. I'll probably show you that so you know. And forget about it for a while and come back to it at a later date. It's getting kind of hot out here. Okay, so yes, it's regular playground sand, and you can reuse it, but you wouldn't want to keep growing your plant in this because it's basically devoid. It doesn't have nutrients, minerals, and stuff in there, and that's what keeps it from the stems from rotting and so forth. So I like it as a medium for this. The other stuff I have over there is Lucky Dog from Fox Farm. I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but that's what that is. Hang on, I'll be back with you in a minute. So when you're propagating vines, you're going to have to keep in mind direction. It can get confusing. So I kind of try and lay it in the direction it goes. This right here is the Black Supreme muscadine grape. Now, yeah, the very growing tip of this kind of broke off, so we're just gonna go with that, and I'm gonna pretty much leave it. I might. These grapes seem to have a lot of tendrils on them, choking tendrils at times, so I'm gonna go ahead and maybe trim that a little bit because it looks like it's choking its own leaf. All right, and there we go. Plant that in there, and then since I already have this in the direction that I know that it's going, I will go ahead and take it down here by this tendril right here. You can get a couple off of a long cutting like that. So, and I'll take everything off except for the top leaf. Sometimes you'll see a little bud up there. You can just leave a bud too instead of leaving a whole leaf. It depends on the cutting and the plant and how you're feeling for the moment. So I decided to, the camera's acting up, on these right here, I decided to take a few of just the leaf cuttings like this star fruit. Let me get this over here. Yeah, my camera's acting up. It does that. I'm not really, I assume that people probably think that I'm embarrassed to be on camera or whatever. It's not that. It's just that I don't have the technical capabilities with this GoPro. It seems to want to cut out on me after a 15-minute video. So I'm going to try that in addition to the big stem cutting that I'm going to stick in the other box, because you never know what works until you try them. So just wanted to let you know how I was broke it off, how I was going to approach that. Yeah, it's a very fragile cutting. I have to stick it in like that. Okay. All right, so I'll get back with you in a minute when I change varieties. Okay, now I'm doing some Texas sage. I'm really having an issue with my camera. Hang on a second. Yeah, hopefully it straightens up. Anyhow, so this is what I do with a cutting like this. I would just do this, and I'd especially try and get the flowers off. It's a little bit different. It's tall too, so we'll go ahead and take it down further, get that flower off, and just do the same old. I had a small grape cutting, and most of the night blooming jasmines were dainty, and I only had a couple of the Chaya. So, but yeah, so this is what I'm doing with the Texas sage. Just do like that, and cut it down to a length, and dip and stick. All right, so yeah, then when people talk about sticking plants, this is what they're talking about. So just giving you ideas on how to make more plants in your garden. I'll show you how I put these here in a minute. Thank you. All right, so hopefully I get to end this video. Here is here's the propagation boxes, and my battery's running dead, so I hope I make it to the end. And I also wanted to say, here's me, and I don't know if you can see me well or not, but I'm sweating. And anyhow, I'm Sherry, and please subscribe to my channel. And I have these in the shade. They don't need any sun right now, and the humidity ought to stay inside these boxes. And we'll check on the cuttings here in 3 or 4 weeks, the 1st of August or so. So have a great day. Have a nice 4th of July weekend, and I hope I inspired you to make more plants. Have a good day. Bye now.